I'm with Ian Quinn. How you doing, Ian?
Good to meet you, Callum.
Yeah,
nice to meet you.
You're the main man in the Waverley, directing everybody and telling them where they're arriving. The tour guide, indeed. So tell me, today's been quite a day for you in terms of changes to the format and the schedule. Take us through it. What's happened today?
It's a fine winter's day.
In the middle of summer.
You wouldn't think this was January, would you? In fact, you get better days in January. No, the forecast for today was, we knew in advance, was not going to be the easiest. And an east wind in the Clyde, a northeast wind as it is today, but anything out the east is not the best. And the pilot who navigates the captain's thoughts around the Waverley Air, the master doesn't have an exemption for air yet, advised the company this morning that it wouldn't be easy getting the pilot cutter out to the Waverley in weather conditions like that out at sea, where he's got to transfer from his small boat to us. And the decision wasn't taken then, but it was at lunchtime, having taken further advice from him that the Waverley wouldn't return to here tonight, but she's managed everything else. Just unfortunate we didn't get Tarbert, because an east wind in Tarbert's not the most easy directions either. It's a very unusual wind for the time of year. And but look, 330 odd people have been on the Waverley today, and there's nearly 405.
And the bars and restaurants have been rammed.
And the sign of that people were satisfied was when the purser went ashore at Tinnabrew to speak to the passengers at Tinnabrew, who were the last to be informed about what the schedule would be. Not one of them walked away.
Oh, yeah.
And there was nearly 70 people come on at Tinnabrew for the afternoon, knowing fine well the weather wasn't going to be kind, because by that time it was starting.
I noticed there was quite a lot of people that got off at Tinnabrew as well.
Well, I made the announcement at Tinnabrew that normally you would get an hour and a half or so in Tarbert, and some people like to get off for a wee walk. That if you want time ashore, just to go off at Tinnabrew and take in.
But even like I say, on the way back, there was quite a lot of folk that came.
Well, they'd got on. They'd got on there. That's the ones I'm meaning that Andrew spoke to. That there was about 60 odd come on at Tinnabrew, and not one of them walked away disappointed they weren't getting to Tarbert. They were quite happy. And look, we took them up to corners of Loch Fyne that they wouldn't see.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we got the outward journey in reasonable good weather before the rain came in. So there's only been a 2 or 3 hours of this out of what has been a 9-hour operational day. That's not bad.
Fantastic. And what would you say was your own personal highlight of today?
I would say getting up to Otter Ferry, through the Otter Spit Narrows and up to Otter Ferry Pier, taking her back to almost alongside. I mean, the captain gave us a very fine close-in view of Otter Ferry Pier, which she called on Easter Sunday '93, only once. And then over to Loch Gair, which is unusual in itself. So and the close in up from Ardlamont Point up past Portavadie and up was unusual, because normally she's over the other side heading over to Tarbert. So all in all, we squeezed the lemon out of what was a pretty rotten forecast.
You certainly have. Now, Ian, the Waverley's 77 years old now. It's looking very good for it as well.
Well, she had the rebuild in 2000 and 2003, so a lot of the accommodation and that was upgraded, and the toilet areas were all upgraded. The boilers were renewed at that time, even though they've been renewed again since. You forget it's 25 years ago nearly.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I gather you've been a fan of the Waverley since you were a schoolboy as well.
All my life. My father was very keen in the Clyde steamer, still is. And although he doesn't travel in the Waverley, he goes down to the Clyde to look at it. But my father was a marine engineer. He worked with triple expansion engines like the Waverleys for most of his working life. His mother had a house in Dunoon, and I was brought up in the faith. I always had it, and it's nice to see friends like Davy here.
Davy here as well, yeah.
We meet up in the winter and enthuse about what we've had in the summer, and we get aboard and meet up as chums in the summer and sail on the Waverley and do our bit to help keep her going.
So if they wrap it up in a bottle, what is the magic of the Waverley? What is it that still brings so many people and enjoy it, even on a day like today?
It's the steam engine, the sound of the paddle, the unique quality of what the Waverley is the last of. You don't want to see this fail. Nobody ever wants to see the Waverley fail. And intrinsically, that's the words. She's the last that will ever ever do this type of excursion, fair weather or foul, once the Waverley finishes. And I hope, Davey, I think we both would agree we don't want the Waverley to fail, do we?
No, definitely not.
So, and there's a lot of public sympathy for the Waverley, and as long as that public sympathy remains, then the Waverley has a reasonable to good future.
And the other thing as well, today, unfortunately, you say never got to Tar, but there's still plenty more opportunities for people to go.
Well, there is.
And there's, I see you doing a trip around Ailsa Craig as well. And
look at yesterday.
Lots of, yeah.
I mean, it was, Davey and I were on yesterday. You would never have compared yesterday to today.
Yeah.
Watching the sunset over here Harbour last night, you'd never have thought that was a real summer's day yesterday. Even though the wind was still a wee bit cold,
Sure.
you can live with that. The scenery was fantastic, and there's corners of the Clyde you would never see again if it wasn't for the Waverley.
Fantastic, yeah, that's it.
Because the Tiles of Butte you would never see again,
Yeah.
regardless of the weather. You would. There's no other ship
that takes
goes
you
to
through
corners
this
of the
journey.
Clyde coast like this boat does,
Yeah, absolutely.
and you would never ever see them again if the Waverley stopped for the sailing.
Sure, and
Very
that's why
special,
it's so
very
important.
special, and people should go home feeling that they've been very special in supporting it, because
Very much.
without the people supporting it, the Waverley would have a different life.
Okay, thank you
Callum,
so
it's
much.
been lovely talking to you.
Brilliant, lovely to
Thank
meet you.